This is awesome to be here, actually, and to see how much interest there is in drone technology in Africa. To see how accepted even the word drone is really cool to me. It had such a negative connotation, even 5 years ago. And so now the fact that people see it as something that's so positive and transformational is really inspiring. We actually have one of our show planes that's a full-scale aircraft. We were going to set up on the stage, but we'll have it available outside later to look at if you guys want to check it out. It's been a kind of an exciting week, and so I wanted to make a couple announcements that are really positive for us and for actually Rwanda too, where we operate. Last week, 3 hospitals in Rwanda announced that they've had 7 months of 0 maternal hemorrhaging fatalities. So to be part of a healthcare system that posts those kind of numbers in Africa is awesome. And we're really humbled and honored to be a part of that. Also, Rwanda and Zipline have now officially entered into an expansion contract where we will be delivering across almost 95% of the country about 1,000 different SKUs, barcodes of medical supplies and critical medicines. So we hope to kind of take the things that we learned and also the things that we, like the efficiencies that we gained and lives that we saved and now expand that to more than just blood products. So we're super excited about that. Just kick into the slides real quick. So my name is Dan Czerwonka. I run global operations for Zipline. I'm also one of our lawyers. I handle most of our international legal work. But I like to try to stay out from behind a desk as much as possible. So, and then my coworker Nixon here is one of our best flight operators. He's also a Tanzanian, so I thought it would be appropriate to invite him along with us. I've clicked through these slides here. So as you can see, in 2016, we were operating from one facility, and we're covering a fair amount of the country, operating to 12 hospitals, and now we're going to be operating from multiple facilities and covering almost the entire country. And as our range expands too, we'll pick up the rest of it. One of the distinctions I wanted to make is that Zipline is like a complete technology service rather than just a technology product. So we see kind of see ourselves as providing a service, and we use drones to provide that service. We also happen to manufacture the drones. Here, this is a video that I'll let Nixon talk through, but it essentially goes through our process.
So as Dan has been explaining, that is the order being placed at our distribution center, and then the full ops packing it, and then that is being loaded on the drone, and then the drone being assembled on the launcher, then the pre-flight checks, and then the drone being launched. Then it will fly autonomously all the way to the hospital. That is about 8-kilometer range. And then when it reaches there, it will come a little bit down, and the hospital will get a notification that the drone is there, and the drone will drop a package, and then it will head back to the facility. So when the package is dropped, the lab tech will go and pick the package, and then heads over to hand it to the doctors that will use the product. Then the drone will head back to our distribution center, and then it will land. Thank you.
So, like I said, we work very closely with Rwanda, and we've been able to save many lives, and we've completely eliminated the exploration of blood products, which is a big deal, but we've also equalized access to all of the medical products that we deliver, to all the facilities that we deliver. So, instead of one facility ordering things and maybe hoarding them, and then they expire, at the expense of other facilities having access to those products, we now can keep them centralized, and then everyone has equal access to them, and we can deliver them on demand. So 30 minutes to an hour, pretty much anywhere we deliver. And obviously, the next step now that we just are going to be delivering a lot more products, it's kind of like a new chapter in our relationship with Rwanda too. So there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that you don't necessarily see that are pretty heavy tasks to undertake. This was our operations circa 2016. And I put a lot of photos in here too, just to try to make it less technical and like a little bit more interesting for you guys. You can see we used to use inflatable mats that would catch our aircraft when they landed. And we operated out of very small medical warehouse. And these are our previous generation aircraft. Our new systems, this is our new facility with a proper medical warehouse, the latest generation of our aircraft. And a lot of the things about this aircraft, the big wins you don't necessarily see on the outside. It is a larger aircraft, it flies faster, it carries more, but it also has a lot of engineering advancements in it. For example, the old aircraft used to use, I think, 56 different types of fasteners. The new aircraft uses 3 types of fasteners, 2 of which are just different lengths. So it makes it a lot faster to assemble. All the parts on it are all modular. We call them LRUs, which is a line replaceable unit, so that if any piece breaks, it's easily and quickly replaceable. You could see on our model aircraft, the 3 top level LRUs that we have are a battery, a wing, and a fuselage. And in our old version, the aircraft, if it crashed, the whole aircraft would be out of service if you were just repairing a tail or a wing. The new aircraft, you just unscrew a couple of screws, slide it off, and put a new one back on. If a wing needs repair, you just throw another wing on the fuse and it can still fly. So, and also the build time is drastically reduced. So there's a lot of things under the hood that we've listened to customer feedback on and have tried to really reduce costs and also increase our ability to scale. This is a kind of interesting image here. What I wanted to say is that we collect a lot of valuable data and we've learned a lot of engineering lessons working at really high volume scale, on a national level, that I think that you can't really learn without doing. That's one of those things where you just have to fail a lot and you have to have a lot of flight time and a lot of hours to figure out what needs to be fixed and what you can improve. This image here is actually our highway in the sky for one of our delivery routes. And there's 3 lines on each side, kind of like highway lanes. But what's really interesting about this is this actually represents the paths of 200 flights. So the aircraft are almost exactly on track every single step of the way. And the little variations that you see are actually high winds coming from the mountain. So I think I kind of nerd out on that stuff. I think that's a really interesting image. Anyway, so the point of this was to talk about the lessons that we've learned over the last 2 years operating, the first commercial drone delivery service at national scale. And I really wanted to try to come up with some lessons that I think could be applicable to all of you guys, especially that, you guys that are building UAVs or autonomous aircraft or working in any other drone space like traffic management. And so the first lesson that I wanted to say is that power equals responsibility. If you have the power to make a difference, I think you also have a responsibility to make a difference. And I can't tell you, one of the reasons I work at Zipline is because I hear stories all the time of these emergency deliveries that we've made. And I think a third of our deliveries, maybe 9,000 or 10,000 deliveries now, are emergency deliveries, and those are life-saving deliveries. The other ones that we do are resupply deliveries, where we're just managing stock levels in real time. But the emergency ones are the ones that really get me, and it's the reason why I joined Zipline. And so, anyway, I want to share 2 of these stories with you real quick. Oops.
biba ngombwa ko amaraso ye yanshizemo arayanyohereza ababishinzwe. Nabona amaraso kumva naritabye Imana ko ariyo yagize umuntu.
Iyo nabona ayo maraso nari gushobora gupfa. Igihe kuva basaba amaraso n'igihe yatugereyeho nta minota 5 irimo.
So, these are just 2 stories of patients that we've delivered blood to. and actually Alice, sometime after her treatment, I think we delivered maybe 12 units of blood and 3 units of plasma and a couple units of platelets. She kept bleeding, and we just kept sending more aircraft and delivering. And when she came to the facility, maybe 5 or 6 months after she had healed up, she brought her whole family, and she said, thank you. It saved my life, but you also saved my family too. My husband still has a wife. My children still have a mother, and that's the stuff that really, it still gets me. I mean, I've been working here for almost 2 years, and it's like hearing it for the first time every time. But all these outcomes, they're not just a piece of magic hardware, right? A lot of smart and hardworking people around the world are working 24/7 all the time, putting all their skills and abilities into the service of something that's greater than themselves. And everyone at Zipline feels that way, and that's why I'm proud to work there. Drones are all the rage right now, but the vehicle really is just the tip of the iceberg. This is Blaze, he's one of our fulfillment operators. It takes a massive amount of behind-the-scenes hard work to create new systems, but also to manage and navigate the intricacies of different health systems. It's not like in the US working in different states. There's variations in state laws, but in Africa in particular, every country is a sovereign entity with their own bodies of laws and their own ways of doing things. And so to figure out a way that you can best work with them will be extremely important, but it's also going to take a lot of work. And it's worthwhile work. So I guess I would say I would urge all of you to use your abilities to the fullest, and try to leave the world a little better than you found it. Anyway, so this kind of shows you, this is just a graphic showing how we have to interface with the MOH, the Ministry of Health, and the Civil Aviation Authority on a daily basis. We report all kinds of data and statistics, and those systems alone are massive undertakings. So again, just don't neglect all the stuff that happens behind the scenes, because it might save somebody's life. The second lesson I wanted to say is that knowledge, it has to be shared. If you have a technical knowledge that can benefit humanity, we believe that you have a responsibility to transfer that knowledge for the benefit of all humanity. So at Zipline, this is one of our production facilities, but we hire and train local workers 100% in the countries that we operate in, and that's both for technical and non-technical, facility positions. This is an image from one of the trainings that we do regularly in our Muhanga facility. And we actually have daily, seamless collaboration between engineers in the US and our flight and fulfillment operators here in Rwanda. And when we all learn from each other, your knowledge increases a lot faster, right? And so we're also really extremely proud to share this technology. And we've learned a lot about drones and both healthcare logistics. And so we want to spread that knowledge with every new team that we work with, so that their next generation can learn and take what we've taught them to the next level even. The third lesson is it's not about the drone. And I know our engineers will probably yell at me for saying this, but in my opinion, hardware alone doesn't matter. It's what you do with that hardware that matters, right? So, do the hard work to figure out what kind of, I think someone said earlier, use cases that you can, be a benefit to, or what kind of problems you can solve. This is, some hardware testing. It's really cool. We have really cool motors and all this stuff, but we have a whole team that's also always looking for new ways to use what we do to solve really difficult problems. And again, this is us before, and this is us now. And I would say it's really an exciting time for all of us in the drone space, and that's why I'm really stoked to be here today. At Zipline, we see the vast potential for good that drones present, and we're all working really hard to advance that technology. And I'll just show you an example of some of the areas that we focus on. So we're focused in the healthcare space, as you guys have seen, and we really try hard to have guaranteed cold chain logistics, which means not just delivering things that need to be refrigerated, but also managing those things and stocking them always within the best limits of temperature ranges, making sure all of our stuff is calibrated. A lot of facilities way out in rural areas don't have the ability, even if they have refrigeration units, to keep them calibrated properly. And so we make sure that we do that. We also try to make inventory management a lot smarter, so that you can hold less on hand and have more access for everyone. And then emergency response, that's a big one. We always want to be available for emergencies, and so we'll be getting resupply orders all day long, but those always take a back seat if an emergency order comes in. Everybody stops what they're doing, and we make sure that goes out first. And then chronic care management. This is kind of one of those things where the new products that we'll be delivering will start to help a lot. And some of our solutions, we really try to offer improved access, system-wide cost reductions is a big one, and decentralizing and specializing primary care. And then there's also an impact on health workers. I've talked to a lot of people, not just in Rwanda, but in many countries, that they feel like they can't give their patients the best care that they would want to. And when I talk to people that work at hospitals or health facilities that we deliver to, they have a little bit more hope, or they feel like they can actually take better care of their patients because they can get blood, right when they need it. So these are some of the problems that we faced early on, and we'll still face for a while. Stockouts are certainly the norm. Ground transportation is unreliable, especially, as you guys know, in rainy seasons, and maintaining vehicles as well, or even getting an ambulance to go pick up supplies and then bring them back to a hospital. And then, of course, projecting what your demand is very difficult, and so you never want to stockpile stuff like this and have it expire. And also, these are cold chain reliability problems that are really important to solve. And then I would say the last lesson would be just listen to your customer, or in a lot of our cases, potential customers, right? This is a new industry. We're all looking for customers. We have some customers. I think we have 14 countries and 3 continents in the pipeline now. But it remains to be seen exactly what we'll be providing for all of them. It's all going to vary. And so it's important to listen to what your customer needs, and not just say, hey, I got this awesome thing. Hey, look at my cool drone, figure out something to do with it. It's take the next step and figure out what it is that you need to do to solve a problem for them with your awesome technology. And then I just want to kind of give a shout out to Rwanda specifically, because they were the first country to believe in us. And so we'll always have a special relationship with Rwanda. And personally, for me, the people of Rwanda as well. They've taught us that our customers really are also partners. You can't just, sell something to someone that's this detailed and be like, don't ask me any questions or don't tell me what to do. It's totally a partnership, and you're going to talk to them every single day. So make the most of that partnership. Listen to what they need and find new ways to integrate into their supply chains, into their logistics systems, into their regulatory frameworks. And to the extent that you can provide suggestions about how to improve, say, regulatory frameworks, do that, because it's going to be good for everyone, including them. And then so I just want to finish by saying that this is an exciting new industry for all of us, and the best path forward, it's not clearly defined, but the opportunities for aviation technologies to positively impact society are very many, and I really hope that Zipline is just one of a whole new wave of startups that could reshape our understanding of what drones can do for the world. it's been a long time, especially in the US, that the FAA has had any interest in really innovating in aviation regulations and aviation law. It's almost like the golden age of the airplane way back in the day. And so, we're all a part of it to some extent. So recognizing that and like, I would say enjoying the ride and also having fun. Like, don't forget to have fun. Like, drones are cool. I don't know about you, but like, I've been playing with like RC airplanes since I was a kid. And like, I crashed them so much. But now I get to work for a company that uses an evolution of that technology to save people's lives, and I think that's awesome. But it's hard work, and you'll get stressed out and frustrated, but remember to have fun and laugh with the people you work with once in a while. And that's it for me, and then I'll open it up for questions, and I actually wouldn't mind if you guys don't mind, if we have time, like just hearing a little bit about some of the lessons that Nixon has learned on the ground.
Nixon.
Hi, everybody, again. I just wanted to thank everybody for having us here. We are excited. Us at Zipline, we're excited with the technology, and we're excited to learn about other players in the industry. Welcome and have a chat with us, ask us questions, and we can also provide the experience on our side, and also can share some knowledge that we have. Thank you. We'll be happy to take a couple of questions from you guys if you have any.
Sorry?
If there's a question.
Yep. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause one more time. Very exciting to hear that so many of these things we've been speaking about the last few days, they're doing them right now in Rwanda. So it's very exciting, and I hope to hear more about how they can help us here at Lake Victoria Challenge. With that, let's open up the floor to questions. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. And this time, if you ask a question, could you please stand so the cameras can see you? Yep, over here.
Thanks. When you were starting this journey with the Rwandan government, how did that talk begin? Because I know there's a lot of governments here very interested in expanding what's possible. So could you speak a little bit about how that started, how you engaged them, and what was maybe the first thing that was the most helpful in getting those discussions started? Thank you.
Yeah, actually, I'm probably not the best person to answer that question. That was right before I arrived at Zipline. But I know that our CEO and our CTO, we're traveling in Africa, and I should let them tell this story, even because I don't fully know it. But yeah, they saw a real need with faster blood delivery to some rural hospitals, and they were like, man, what if we made a drone that could do that? So then that's where they came up with the idea, and then I guess they had started making some contacts with the Rwandan government, and as you know, Rwanda is very kind of tech forward, and so they were the first ones that were open to giving it a try. It's a hard sell, right? I mean, to say, hey, we have this new technology that no one's ever tried before, and it's not proven and it's not tested. Do you guys want to take a risk on it? Because the people that make decisions, like, all the risk falls on them, right? And then if it succeeds, then kind of everyone shares the glory, I guess, or the win. So I don't know to answer your question. I don't know, but I know that people in the government were receptive to trying something new, and that's how we got started.
That's why I'm beginning.
First of all, I want to congratulate you on the beautiful mission that you have in Rwanda. As a Drones for Good manufacturer from the Netherlands myself, you are a great inspiration to us. I was wondering if you, with your technology, you use the drop system, if you're also thinking about going into reverse logistics in the future, if picking up blood samples, for instance.
Yeah, so we get asked that a lot, and I can't really answer anything officially, but I will say that we're on our 6th generation of aircraft already in like 3.5 years, so we've got a lot in store. Reverse logistics is certainly something that is asked for a lot. We thought that, from a business perspective, the type of aircraft that we designed is designed for a certain type of mission, right? It's a long-range delivery, which is different than like a multi-copter, which certainly had their place too. But in the type of environments that we were operating in, where it could be raining really hard, it could be extremely windy, and we need to get 80 or 100 kilometers away, we went with a fixed-wing aircraft and a parachute system, because also then we don't have to have any infrastructure at the facilities, especially being very remote facilities. They don't need to maintain or some kind of other equipment to either like retrieve the package or not have any equipment and then have them interact with the aircraft and maybe get cut by propeller or something. So it made the most sense for what we were trying to do. And then we knew that we would also learn a lot of lessons in this process. And so again, like the stuff I was talking about before, the stuff under the hood that you don't see, the software engineering stuff, our software engineers, it's crazy. I'm literally like the dumbest guy at this company. It's like everybody from SpaceX and NASA and Google and Apple and Tesla, and they're developing the software, which in my opinion is the most important piece, because at the volumes that we're scaling to manage 2,000 to 3,000 aircraft in the sky at any one time is a big undertaking in itself, right? And so we have a whole software team that's doing that. And then, we have engineering teams that are like, we call them cycle testing, but they build machines that actually just move all the parts until they break and figure out what their break cycles are and collect all that kind of data, So in my opinion, it's the stuff that you learn in that process that then allows you to iterate really quickly that's most valuable, and that's the decision that we made.
Just to add on what Dan has said, also one of the challenges, we understand there is a lot of need that we have to address, but also in the same fields that we are doing, the same things that we are doing, we still have a lot of challenges. So part of our team is trying to focus on exploring the future. As you see, 2 years ago, we did not have the type of aircraft we had. We were not able to cover the mileage that we cover now. So half of the team is working hard in solving the challenges that we're facing now, weather and kind of things, but also the other half of the team is trying to explore the future.
I want to know, how successful have you been in imparting the knowledge to the locals?
Thank you for that question. And as Dan has been explaining, Zipline is very diverse. Operations, for example, in Rwanda are run 100% by Rwandese and African locals. And I am part of the team in Rwanda as flight operator. And I can tell you that within 2 years, there is a substantial group of locals that are getting the knowledge. And this does not end only in the operation side. The locals that are getting trained, they have any chances of getting more trained into more complicated systems as time goes up. So it is not an easy journey, but Zipline is trying hard to reach out there. Thank you.
And I just want to add something onto that too. And I don't know if I'll get in trouble for saying this, but like our local staff are amazing. They are so driven and so motivated. It's hard to find people to join our team in the U.S. that have the level of drive that the people in Africa do, and that's been so inspiring to me. So, like I said in the slideshow, we really want to make a point to transfer this knowledge so that future generations can benefit from it. And I really am proud to say that I know that the team that we're building across Africa is going to make the next generation even more amazing.
Okay.
As you explained, it's a lot more than the drone. It's the logistics, it's everything that goes around it, it's the relationships. is Zipline considering at all integrating other aircraft, so other manufacturers' drones into your supply chain?
I mean, you know, I would say never, but I know that, you know, we spent a lot of time developing the aircraft and the systems that we use because we just found a lot of reliability issues at high volume when we tested a lot of other like flight controllers and aircraft and things like that. But you know, we're always open to being like proven wrong. Like if there's a better aircraft or something, you know, that's better, then like absolutely we'd be happy to explore it. But you know, that really you have to talk to our CTO about that.
I have a question about the future. You talked about moving to 1,000 different SKUs. And so is the vision to have routine resupply all products at all facility, emergency resupply for some products to all facility, and if you have any sense of the percentage of inventory throughput that's being moved by drone now or in the future compared to other fleet?
So the first part was, how would we decide, or would we decide about having what products to have emergency or resupplies? So I mean, we're starting with like, well, we call them like critical medical supplies, but you could think of them as emergency products for sure, because again, that's the you know the most needed first, and then as we expand, we can add things that aren't like necessarily like emergency, but are something that, you know, maybe someone gets you know, needs their Humira delivered, you know, once a month or something, or whatever. And that's not necessarily like an emergency, but if you live out in a rural area, it's really hard to get, right? But also, a lot of these decisions are made by our customers too. And so they kind of tell us what they want to deliver first. I don't know if that helps, but we'll certainly deliver whatever needs to be delivered.